Dear Manchester United fans, dear faithfuls, lovers of football and well-wishers, gather here. Let us talk about the new season that will be starting by next weekend. Yes, as we know, Crystal Palace has just urged Liverpool to lift the 2025 Community Shield. And on that note, the Premier League season for 2025-2026 is now officially open. Next weekend, Manchester United will be slugging it out with Arsenal. And what I've come here to discuss is to look at the signings some teams have made. And I'm looking at Liverpool because I watched them play today. So I am taking my time to look at them. And the question I have is this: would Jurgen Klopp sign these same players Arne Slot signed? That's the question. Do you think that Arne Slot have signed players that are capable of getting him the league? Because under Jurgen Klopp, I feel like the profile of players that Liverpool signed will not make it to Liverpool because Jurgen Klopp has a style of players, a profile of players that he brings into his team. And I don't think that Arne Slot has replicated that. So I feel like it will be difficult for Arne Slot to replicate what Liverpool did last season. This is my personal opinion. Let us go to Manchester United and Arsenal. Manchester United will slug it out with Arsenal next week. And as we are looking, as it may be, let us look at the signings and who practically is having a better window, a better transfer window between Arsenal and Manchester United. As we go, Arsenal signed players like Zubimendi, Noni Madueke, Christian Mosquera, and Christian Nogard, then Kepa Arrizabalaga. These players, Zubimendi is a defensive midfielder, right? Victor Gyökeres is a striker, and Noni Madueke is a winger. Christian Mosquera is a defender. Christian Nogard is a midfielder, and Kepa is a goalkeeper. Arsenal has one of the very, very good goalkeepers in David Raya. Also, they have one of the best midfield in Declan Rice, right? I'm looking at the players he has brought in as players who will not have that instant impact on the team because they look like players who will be coming in from the bench. Also, they look like players who has come in to fight for a place in the team. Like creating, like what I feel like what Mikel Arteta did with the signings was just to create squad depth, having players who can replace these other players. And I don't think that he has bought players who will affect his team positively, because now he has brought in these players, the players like Noni Madueke, players like Zubimendi, Gyökeres, and all of that. Then when you watch them play, they play exactly the same Arsenal has been playing. There are no differences. I think that there is no elevation in what Arsenal, Mikel Arteta has done. This is my opinion. I just feel like there are no elevations. The only player I felt like, yes, would go straight in is Victor Gyökeres. That is the player I think that, okay, he's going to go in. Yeah, maybe Christian Nogard, will go in. But all of these players have to fight for a right to play for Arsenal. And then when we go to Manchester United has managed to sign Bryan Mbeumo, Matheus Cunha, Diego Leon, and also Benjamin Sesko. And when you look at the players Ruben Amorim has signed, he brought in players that had to be the answer to the problem Manchester United had last season. Yes, Manchester United lacked the spark of creativity. Manchester United was not scoring goals. Manchester United was being run through in the middle of the park. A lot of things. Manchester United, a lot of teams destroyed Manchester United's midfield last season. And when you look at what Ruben Amorim has gone to the transfer market to do is to identify players who solves the problems immediately. Yes, and this is why he brought in Premier League tested players immediately. Yes, he brought in Premier League tested players. Then he went for a striker, because last season we had a striker who could not convert chances, who could not make intelligent runs, and who could not support the team positively. But here he has Benjamin Sesko, who I believe solves the striking position problem. He has Cunha and Mbeumo, who can play the number 10 roles that he wants, because Ruben Amorim likes to play with two number 10s. Who can solve that number 10 roles, who have the players that have those creative spark. Now the thing is, Ahmad can play in the number 10 position while Mbeumo plays in the wing-back position, or Mbeumo played the number 10 position while Ahmad plays the wing-back position. So if you look at the game against Fiorentina, Mbeumo and Ahmad were not understanding each other, and I think that is a normal thing, being that Mbeumo has just come into the team. When they continue playing, they would get to understand themselves. So the signings Ruben Amorim made are signings that will affect the team immediately, solves the problem that he had last season, and further push him up. Now, when you look at Ruben Amorim and Manchester United in the preseason, you look at it that they press differently now. They are sharper, they are fitter. They are now playing with an identity. You can see what Ruben Amorim wants to do. You can see them putting those 1-2 passes together, playing through the midfield, connecting the wide men, the wing backs, and also playing out from the back, like in a transitional play, hitting teams on the counter. You understand that this is what Ruben Amorim is trying to achieve. And when you look at these two teams, this guy signed players who could actually come fight for the right to play in the team, because he already has players in all of the positions that he bought players. He already has players. So we were looking at him getting in players that looks like an upgrade to what he has. And we can only say, on paper, the only player that looks like an upgrade to what Mikel Arteta has is Victor Gyökeres. That is the player that looks like an upgrade to what he has already. You look to what is his name, Martinelli, Kai Havertz. Victor Gyökeres looks like an upgrade on paper, right? Then, if you go to every other position, I think that Mikel Arteta has players who are doing well, and these other ones that he brought in, I look at it like there is no upgrade. You cannot say this player is better than this. You cannot say Zubimendi is better than Declan Rice. This is my opinion, though. So, but if you come to Manchester United has signed players who are better than what they have, who affect the team immediately, and who are Premier League proven players. Yes, in Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo. Manchester United is rumored to be going for Baleba. And if Manchester United is able to get Baleba, you will just notice that he brings in players who affect the team immediately and who do not have to go through the rigors of trying to settle in the team, trying to understand the culture, the weather, and all of that. These players already knows the culture, knows the weather, knows everything. They just come in and solve that problem. So between Manchester United and Arsenal, who do you think have had a better season? And who do you think have signed players that are going to affect them even more positively? I'll be in the comment section. I want to know what you think. See you again in my next video.